morning, everybody. So I'm here with Kenny, and we're back with his 2016 Buick Encore.
Yes.
And today we are doing the lower control arms on both sides, and we're doing the inner tie rod on the front passenger side, which is super exciting because we've never actually used our inner tie rod tool, and we bought one like 2 years ago. So we get to use it for the first time, and we'll show you guys. We'll bring it along. So pour yourself a cup of coffee, sit back, relax, enjoy the show. When you do these lower control arms, it's honestly super easy. Right here, there's a nut. There, that's a flag nut. Don't get your finger stuck in there, because that sucker will that'll cut your finger right off. So you have to remove this, which is the lower ball joint right there. There's a little nut on top of it, or there's a bolt that goes through. You pull that bolt, and you pull the whole thing down. You remove that one, and then there's one on the other side right there. Move that one. I know that one's an 18 millimeter. I don't know that one. It's probably the same. We're gonna go ahead and get to it and try and get the camera in here. Cool. Just want to make sure we got it loose. Now we gotta get a socket on that other side. Oh, we turn this. We're trying to break everything loose first, just so that we kind of know where our problems lie. So we'll get a socket on the other end and just loosen it up a little bit. Cool. Guess that one's loose. Let's get this other one broke loose. This one's a little harder to reach down in to get to. I might be able to come in with an extension over here. We'll do that. Okay. Will you just look at that? You just look at it. Just look at it. I grabbed a little Kev, and little Kev apparently has a half-inch chuck. That's not helpful. You guys be super careful. I don't have for some reason, an 18 millimeter swivel. Oh man, that's gonna put too much meat on the bows here. Okay, there we go. Now we're cooking. Now, am I gonna be able to get the right angle or the dangle? Is that what they say? Oh, get in there. All right. That ain't gonna work. That is not gonna work. Power went out. So what we're gonna do now is we have to get that first nut off of the lower ball joint. So we're going to lift the caliper. We're going to take one bolt out of the caliper, out of the caliper bracket. We're going to loosen the other one, and we're just going to lift the caliper up out of the way to just give us a little more room to get zip that bolt out from this side. That escalated really quickly. Alright, that might give us enough room. If not. There we go. Get it through and find a good place to hang it up on the coil. There you go. Get it up out of the way. See this one right here? I'm gonna try and zip it out if we can, hopefully. Oh, we're gonna lose power. The problem is, now we got a bolt that's just spinning. So we gotta push that bolt out the other side. It's gonna be kind of a pain. So what we have here is, I don't know if you saw in one of my other videos, where we found this in my yard. We're gonna use the end of this to go over the bolt. And we're gonna tap the other end with this hammer. And it should tap the bolt out from this side without actually damaging any of the threads. What we need to do is clean up some of these threads and get all this gunk off. I think the parts cleaner might do just the trick. Might just do the trick. What we're gonna do for every bolt is we're gonna put it in a mason jar filled with evapor rust, and then we're gonna put that jar inside our parts cleaner. So it should work. Focus. All right, so this is what it looks like before. Drop it into the evapor rust. Give it some time. See what it does after. You can already see it. Look, melting off. You see that? So crazy. All right, so Astro Tools set 78807 right here. Pickle fork set. And yes, it looks brand new because it is brand new. We're gonna use this pickle fork set. We're gonna find the right one. We're gonna use this to separate the bowl joint from the actual nut. Now we gotta take the other two bolts out and then do the old switcheroo. Good. Ew. Nice. Cool. You guys ever have those 20-minute jobs that turn into a thing?
Never.
Yeah, you should not have to pull out a Sawzall to work on a car, but today's the day. All right, so we got it. We got it out. There's that part. So Sawzall did the trick. 3 blades later, and now we got plenty of room. Look at that. We got plenty of room to get that bolt. Hell yeah. Are you good enough, Husky? Huh? Look at that. Don't sleep on Husky, man. Don't do it. Don't lose this flag nut either. Alright. Oh my God, dude, this is a blessing of God. Look at that. Man, it's a weird shaped control arm.
They're supposed to come in sections like that, right?
Exactly. All right, so what we're gonna do here is we're gonna get the air gun. We're gonna blow this out a little bit, maybe get some paint on it, get all these metal chips out, clean this up, get it some, you know, some protection from the rust, and we're gonna get this new control arm in. It should slide right in once we get this cleaned up. Your eyes.
Yep.
You have that AC?
Yeah.
It's gonna blow the power. Gosh dang it.
I told you it'd be fine.
Well, now that we're done wrestling an alligator, I'm going to use PB Blaster's surface shield and treat the whole under part of this car before we install the new parts. So this is going to help protect from rust, from salt, and allegedly it's a competitor with fluid film. So let's see how it works. It smells a lot like fluid film. It's got a strange odor, but it's not bad. All right. Weird. You want to do the new bolts? That's the universal torque spec.
Yeah.
It's red Loctite and Gutentite.
Red Loctite and Gutentite. German spec.
You only want, on this side, you only want to get it started. The second she started, you let that flag nut go. Much better. Much better. Uh-oh. There we go. Okay, now let's get this other bolt in. Side. This is way easier. Basically, I've tilted the lower ball joint down and back, and basically you just wiggle that sucker in there. And I know that's not how you use a hammer, but that's kind of how you do it. Or you can take the jack and actually jack it in there, which is what we're going to end up doing, is just lifting it up a little bit with the jack. Now we're gonna go just nice and gingerly. You don't want to actually jack the car up with this. There it is. You see that? So you're not lifting the car, and you want to be able to look straight through and see that groove. There it is, and then you can lower it. Boom. We're not going to tighten anything up right now. We're just getting the bolts on. because you don't want to torque anything down without weight on it. So we'll get the weight on it by jacking this up to ride height and then torquing everything down. It says it's about 26 foot-pounds plus so and so degrees. Look it up for your specific car, and I'm not going to tell you the specifics of this car, but we're torquing down this lower ball joint to factory spec. Whoa. One thing to note is when you're torquing these down, make sure you jack up the lower control arm and get it about ride height. Otherwise, if you put it all the way down and you tighten it when it's down, the second you lower your car, all that extra pressure is going straight to those bolts and you're going to snap some bolts. So make sure you jack it up to about ride height, about level, and then tighten them down then. Okay, so we have the bolt in. The bolt in, that is a sucker, dude. To torque it down, we had to come through the bottom, use a swivel. Again, don't put your finger in there with that flag nut and make sure it's raised. So we're gonna spray everything down with Surface Shield Blaster. Everything, we're gonna spray it all down. Just gonna make sure this stuff lasts forever that we do there. We had to take the caliper off over here to get to the bolt for the lower ball joint. The caliper was just in the way. So Kenny's over here, he's putting that caliper back on, and it was 118 foot-pounds for the caliper bracket bolts, not the guide pin bolts, the bracket bolts. So 118, and we put the Loctite on and we put him in there. Now he's taking forever.
Thanks.
Alright, so while we have this open, we're changing out the center tie rod and the outer tie rod since we're knocking that out. But we gotta get this separated, and this doesn't want to bust loose. So we're gonna use one of these. It comes out of this OEM set that I'm gonna put a picture of right here and show you guys how to use it. This is clearly, it's too small. What we're gonna do is we're gonna use this other tool, also known as a hammer, and gets the job done. Now we got this up out of our way, and we gotta get this lower ball joint out. All right, next. So this is what a lower ball joint is supposed to be like. It's nice and firm, not too bad. This is what you don't want it to be like. The boot is ripped up. There's rust in here. It's super easy to move. And this is what you really don't want it to look like. Boot is all jacked and it's very loose in there. I can spin this freely with just my hands. Yeah, that's bad. But we're getting new ones. Alright, so everything's all buttoned up. We got the new one in and we did not record that. That's my bad. Everything's torqued. That one was, I can't remember. It was like 60 something plus 100 something degrees. You gotta look it up for your own vehicle. What we found out was that the inner tie rod was not the issue. It was actually over here. It was actually this lower ball joint that was causing all the clunking sound. So as you can see, this side of the bushing doesn't look too bad. You flip it over and you're starting to see those tears, and that's not good. That's not a good sign. That bushing was failing. This one again, the one side looks good. This other side, not good at all. So that bushing was failing. This bushing, this bushing actually looked good on both sides. Yeah, not bad. but the ball joints, both the ball joints actually were pretty toast. Yeah, this is how you tell if your lower ball joint's bad. If it makes that noise. We didn't push out any of the bushings because it's honestly cheaper to just replace the whole lower control arm. So lower control arms on both sides. He's going to keep the inner tie rod. We're not going to do that here right now because that inner tie rod is actually good and that wasn't the problem. So saved a couple bucks, and now we have parts for the future. But Kenny's going to button up, and we're going to put the tires on and take it for a test drive. Thanks for watching and sticking to the end. Let me know in the comments what you think, or if you have any suggestions or concerns or anything like that, or link to Shopify and some of the tools that we use is down below. Make sure you subscribe or double check to see if you got the bell click for notifications. Thanks for watching. As always, have a good one.